and give us those spots, or we can take them from you. First of all, who in the fuck are you for? Oh, okay, this is Generation Next. You guys come out here and want to fight us? Hey, me and my brother ain't never back down from a fight. Come on, boys. I don't know how good you guys are at math, but this is 4 and you're 2. What's this? That Jimmy Rave came for a fight tonight because he was supposed to be wrestling for his Ring of Honor future. I sure as hell came for a fight tonight. Briscoes, did you come to fight? Looks like the odds are even. Who wants to see an 8-man tag?
Can you believe it? We have an impromptu 8-man tag. Generation Next. Jack Evans, Alex Shelley, Roderick Strong, and Austin Aries against Jay and Mark Briscoe, Jimmy Rave, and John Walters. We've never had a match like this in Ring of Honor before. Never mind an impromptu match, unadvertised. No one knew it was going to happen. Well, maybe Generation Next did. This is all part of their plan of the night. But either way, the fans are going to be the winners when you have 8 talented athletes like this, and jobs are on the line, careers are on the line, stars are going to be made. I can't wait to see this one.
Roderick Strong starting out against Jimmy Rave, and you mentioned impromptu. They ought to call this whole show impromptu, because since Generation Next pretty much hijacked the title of our show for their new group name, everything that we've done tonight has been impromptu.
Generation Next, they started at the very opening of the show, ruining the tag team scramble, taking out Dunham Marcos and the Christopher Street Connection. From there, they defeated Special K in 2 impromptu matches. Then they ruined the John Walters versus Jimmy Rave match by attacking both men, saying that they were going to take their spots, including pile driving John Walters, injuring his neck. Walters has had time arrested. He did see the trainer in the locker room, so it should be okay by now. And then they came up to the Briscoes just now, and they told the Briscoes they were going to take their spots. Jay and Mark Briscoe never back down from a fight, and here we go. As Jimmy Rave and John Walters came out to even the odds. They want revenge for the earlier attack, and we have Generation Next against these 4 ROH veterans. Right now it's Mark in there with Roderick Strong.
Well, it's interesting to note that the Briscoes just got finished with a match, and it was a match that they didn't expect to have problems with, but it was a tougher match than I think they thought they would have. Plus, it should be noted, the Briscoes had 2 grueling matches last week, including Mark getting his ribs just wrecked. Roderick Strong now floats up into the side headlock.
The Outcast Killers did try to test the Mark's ribs in that earlier match, and it looks like Mark's had a week to heal up. So the ribs might be in okay condition, but I wouldn't be surprised if Generation Next tried to target the ribs. You don't know, though. Maybe did Generation Next plan to challenge the Briscoes to a match? Did they decide to do it on the spot in the flow of the night? I mean, do they have a strategy going into this one? We know that the Briscoes, Jimmy Rave and John Walters, don't have a strategy going into this one. They had no time to prepare for this. They had no time to watch tapes or come up with a strategy as Alex Shelley comes in and goes to work on the arm of Mark. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, because we have a lot of first-time matchups in this one, including Mark and Shelley in there right now. And these 4 or 8 men might not know what to expect from each other.
Well, you brought up an interesting point. It would be interesting to find out exactly how much strategy and how long Generation Next have been together and have been putting this together. If anybody's at a disadvantage here, it's going to be the Briscoes, because Jimmy Rave and John Walter pretty much just recruited them for this match at the last second. Because you know they don't have any strategy put together.
No, they got caught in the heat of the moment. Of course, they want revenge on Generation Next for that earlier attack. That's why they entered this match. But they definitely were not prepared for any of these individuals. If anything, John Walters prepared for Jimmy Rave tonight, and Jimmy Rave prepared for John Walters. They had no idea they'd be across the ring from these four men. As there you see a nice stretch by John Walters on Alex Shelley.
Double toe hold and then surfboards the arm. Shelley just powers his way out of it. Now Walters going with the overhand wrist lock. Shelley counters with a hammer lock, floats into the extended wrist lock, and then takes him over by the wrist. Stretches the wrist. Notice that Shelley trying to move closer back to his own corner on these exchanges.
You're dealing with two great pure wrestlers in the ring with Alex Shelley and John Walters. And you look at that Generation Next team, what a complete unit it is. Jack Evans now tagging in. He's the high flyer, perhaps the most spectacular high flyer in the wrestling business today. If you saw him in any of those six-man mayhem matches, The Last Stand, At Our Best, or Reborn Stage 1, you know the high flying this guy can do. Then you have Alex Shelley. What a great technical wrestler he is. Then you have Austin Aries with the explosive offense, who can also fly, who can mat wrestle, he can do it all. And finally you have Roderick Strong with the high impact backbreakers and all the other high impact offense he features. What a complete unit we have right there. As right now Jimmy Rave's just snapmare Jack Evans out of his, well, sneakers. He's got to get some wrestling gear.
Well, this is a rather unorthodox look for somebody that came out of the Stu Hart dungeon, which Jack Evans did.
That's the kind of disrespect Jack Evans has. He is one cocky individual. He knows how good he is. Now let's see if he can just take that potential and realize everything that he can accomplish in the wrestling business. A big step will be winning this match. Jimmy Rave, on the other hand, he's been in ROH for quite a while now. He's been close to breaking out, never quite getting there. He even had AJ Styles as his mentor, still couldn't break through, and he was pretty much told by ROH officials, you have to win tonight, and if you don't, that's it. You lose your spot, you lose your job. He was even left off the show last week in Boston.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much of the pressure that's being applied here is being applied by the individuals themselves. Keep in mind that the Briscoes are fighting for their tag team lives here. They've already lost twice to the tag team champions, the Second City Saints. Now, if somebody on Generation Next scores a pinfall on one of the Briscoes, you know it's going to be Generation Next lobbying that they should get the next tag team title shot.
You hit the nail on the head there. Jay and Mark Briscoe, they proved last week they can win the belts again. They brought stability to the ROH tag team division with that 6-month title reign. They brought prestige to the tag titles, but they have lost twice to the current champions, the Second City Saints, as Mark Briscoe tags in now. Of course, there was that classic match at Reborn Stage 1, and then last week in Boston, Mark had severely injured ribs when he came into that match, and the Saints took full advantage of it, but the Briscoes still lost, and a loss is a loss in the record books, and you know the Briscoes want the tag titles back. So, oh, what a kick by Mark on the back of Jack Evans. So in order for the Briscoes to get back in the title picture, they need a victory right here.
And the one advantage the Briscoes do have of anybody in the match, even though they're teaming with a couple of guys that they're just seeing maybe for the first time tonight, is that the Briscoes are probably the most polished and certainly the most seasoned tag team here.
They proved that with their ROH tag title reign. They might have fired Jim Cornette last week, but they learned their lessons well from Jim Cornette. And they have a lot of tag team strategy, a lot of maneuvers, and a lot of little things that they do in the match that really sets them apart from everybody else, as Austin Aries is in there right now with Mark Briscoe.
Austin Aries, nice grapevine of the leg and take him over while still holding on to that, the wrist lock.
Austin Aries is a guy who's really impressed. He made his ROH debut on the afternoon card, Do or Die 2 on March 13th. Looked very impressive there. And then he was in that four-corner survival in Chicago at Reborn Stage 2. And that four-corner survival absolutely stole the show. One of the best four-corner survivals yet. tonight, of course, he was supposed to be in that Generation Next series, and these four hijacked that name, and they formed their own group, an obvious plan, and let's see exactly where Austin Aries fits into that, as he goes into the knuckle lock right now.
Greco-Roman knuckle lock.
Mark Briscoe struggling right now.
Mark Briscoe still must be suffering some effects of the ribs. I wouldn't be surprised if those ribs are taped underneath that singlet.
As there you see, look at that, Austin Aries trapping the arm of Mark Briscoe so he can cinch in on the head right there. Beautifully done. Austin Aries has a lot of unique combinations, a lot of high impact combinations. He's got a spring in his step, a velocity, a force, and it kind of reminds me of AJ Styles, although Austin Aries, I don't like to compare people to other people, and Austin Aries I'm sure will break out on his own without the comparisons, but this guy definitely has a lot of force, a lot of velocity, a lot of spring in everything he does.
And he also doesn't mind grabbing some trunks every now and then.
Now these Generation Next guys showed that they would play dirty. They're not following any rules. They are a definite renegade group. They proved that tonight by how they've turned the show upside down. But in the end, the fans can't complain with a match like this. And right now, Mark back in the corner. Here comes John Walters. It also should be noted, John Walters is right now in the top 5 rankings, as well as Alex Shelley. So you know if somebody scores a fall over one of these guys in the top 5 rankings, that could very well springboard them into the top 5. And if you want to get into the title picture here in ROH, you have to be in the top 5 rankings.
Well, Alex Shelley right now trying to break down the bridge. John Walters, excuse me, in the ring with Austin Aries.
And there's a knee right to the gut. Fireman's takeover. Goes for the arm, but Walters avoids it and comes up with the head. Beautifully done by John Walters.
Notice the way that Walters, and for the most part, the team of Rave, Briscoes, and Walters have tried to keep the match on the mat as much as they can.
Well, these guys are ROH veterans, so they know their way around that ring. Even if they haven't had time to come up with a strategy, they're not going to wrestle a stupid match. They know what to do, and that's what they're trying so far against these young upstarts. Oh, what a kick. And the tag goes out now to Jay Briscoe.
It'll be interesting to see, as the tempo of the match picks up, which of the Generation Next that we're going to see the most in the ring. It looks like Shelley wants to be the ring leader and the team captain.
So far, Generation Next, they've shown great cohesiveness with each other throughout the night. So they've definitely had their time to make their strategy, to set their plans. And so far, I would say that they are executing it. They're definitely establishing themselves as a force here in ROH in just one night. The feeling out. Oh, what a kick to the side of the face by Aries. Cover. Just a 2 count. Jay Briscoe could have easily been knocked out on that kick. The first real high impact of this match, as now Aries trying to follow it up with high impact moves. All these guys still feeling each other out. A lot of first time matchups in this one. A lot of these guys might not know what to expect from each other as Roderick Strong unloads on Jay Briscoe. Wow, you want to talk about hard-hitting action right there. Both these men are bruisers, and they refuse to back down from each other as Roderick Strong plants that knee in the back of Jay Briscoe, perhaps softening him up for a backbreaker in the future.
Notice the way that Roderick Strong just explodes everything he does. There's just a little bit more of an explosion. Everything has so much intensity, especially at the end of this move.
Boy, both those men really battered each other on that exchange. As there's Roderick Strong, nice drop kick, connects right on the face of Jay Briscoe, and he yanks him into the middle of the ring. Just a 2 count as John Walters makes the save. Jay Briscoe, he's proved his toughness in that feud against Samoa Joe. In fact, both Jay and Mark did. Samoa Joe tried to intimidate them, and they refused to be bullied. They took everything that Joe had to dish out and fought back and dished it right back out to Joe. I mean, Jay really impressed during the At Our Best Steel Cage bloodbath. I've never seen anyone lose more blood than Jay Briscoe did against Samoa Joe that night, and he still almost won the world title. What a great match that was. Many are calling it a match of the year candidate.
The question is, on a lot of people's mind, will Samoa Joe keep the title after tonight?
That's going to come up next, as well as Punk and Steamboat. That's definitely something to keep an eye on later on tonight, as Austin Aries tags in from Alex Shelley and connects with a swift kick right to the gut of Jay Briscoe. This Austin Aries, he's high impact, he's hard hitting. What a well-rounded unit we have with this generation next. If Alex Shelley is indeed the general of this, and he's proved to be, he has put together one hell of a troop right there. The tag comes back into John Walters.
Notice the way that they're almost protecting Mark Briscoe, and he has not been in the match nearly as much as either Walters or Jay. They may be protecting those ribs.
Well, Mark's showing no signs of those ribs affecting him right now. They did have a week to heal up so far. And right now, look at that, John Walters, payback for the pile driver earlier tonight by Roderick Strong as he drops Austin Aries on his head. And he does it again.
Walters, it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to press this advantage on his own here. If you notice, Aries and Walters' little matchup here has probably been in the ring more than any of the other matchups in this 8-man.
And Aries got the advantage there with that big drop kick, and he cinches in the side headlock right now. Shoulder block, down goes Walters. And did you see Walters kind of clutch at his neck for a second there?
Drop kick and a beauty by Walters. There's the cover.
You know, Walters, he did have the physician look at his neck, but anything could tweak that injury. European uppercut, beautifully executed by Walters.
But Aries, so quick, so explosive. But this, and look how quick Aries is.
What spring as he hits Walters with that back elbow and then just nails him right there. That's that quickness, that's that velocity, that's that force of Austin Aries that I was talking about earlier.
This could be a turning point in this match, especially if Aries would bring Walters to the Generation Next corner.
So far, neither team being able to get an advantage, and I would say both teams being pretty cautious. And while I guess we're not in the early going anymore, but no one really taking a lot of risks so far. And Walters now firing back with those forearms right to the mug of Austin Aries, whips him in, catches Aries, plants him face first.
Aries is paying for not following up on his advantage a couple of moments ago.
And paying severely with those cross faces. Boy, these guys sure aren't afraid to mix it up. They might not be going for any high-risk moves yet, but they're going for all impact, all force.
Not only they're not going for high-impact moves, but you're not seeing a lot of team moves, and you're not seeing a lot of work in the corner trying to cut off an opponent from making a tag.
I think that goes back to neither team being able to get an advantage so far, as it's been totally back and forth so far. Walters trying to turn that over into a sharpshooter, perhaps. Aries fights it off, and Jimmy Rave gets tagged in. Aries, though, rolls into the corner, tags in Alex Shelley, and there we go back to neither team being able to get an advantage. Back and forth action from the very start, and we have Shelley and Jimmy Rave right now. Jimmy Rave cannot afford to get pinned or tapped in this one. He cannot afford to lose the fall, or that might be it for him in Ring of Honor.
Jimmy Rave, for that matter, almost can't afford to have his team lose.
Alex Shelley, he's number 3 in the top 5 right now. Can he keep his momentum going? That chop will stop his momentum right there. No, he ducks the other one, turns it over on Rave. Rave, no, rolls through, misses a drop kick. Rave now up, goes for that Shining Wizard, and Shelley rolls out and avoids it.
Shelley obviously had Jimmy Rave well scouted, as he seemed like one step ahead of Rave the whole time on that exchange.
Well, he wants no part of that Shining Wizard. It could be all over if Rave connects with it. That could definitely knock you out for 3 count. And here comes Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong has had a very good match so far. Jimmy Rave taking over here with some chops and gets back into the corner and tags Jay Briscoe.
Jay unleashing those chops. He's not afraid to mix it up. The Briscoes proved that against the Havana Pitbulls at Reborn Stage 1. What a great match that was. And what a nice suplex that is by Roderick Strong. Cover. Not quite enough.
Probably the most intense exchange that we've had in the match was earlier between Jay Briscoe and Roderick Strong.
Definitely intensity personified in that exchange. Jay whipping Strong off. Strong up and over. Jay, no, Strong blocks him. Jay blocks that, and now we got a forearm. And that's back on between Briscoe and Strong. Ducks the clothesline. Big back elbow. Cover. Not enough. Let's see if this team can finally get an advantage on Generation Next. As here comes Mark.
Notice how quickly Jay looked for the tag as soon as he got his advantage. As soon as he had Roderick Strong locked up, he looked over his corner to see where his brother was. Now Roderick Strong, to his credit, fights his own way out of trouble.
And once again, neither team able to get an advantage. As here comes Jack Evans. He lands on his feet. There's that agility. Mark go behind Jack Evans now. A go behind back elbows. And look at Jack Evans. He is staggered. Oh, and that clothesline takes him right off his feet.
Nearly decapitates him with that clothesline. And again, it's going to be interesting to see as he goes for the cover. It's Roderick Strong to make the save. It'll be interesting to see if the Briscoes start working as a team here.
They have to. I mean, they can't keep going back and forth like this. You have to mount some sustained offense if you want to get a victory in this one. As Mark is driving those shoulders into the stomach of Jack Evans, and he unleashes a big shot. He takes him into the corner. That's not where Jack Evans wants to be. And look at that, a cheap shot by Walters as he tags in. And I can't blame Walters for what they did to him earlier tonight.
Oh no, that wasn't a cheap shot. He got full value on that.
And look at that, Walters calling in the Briscoes. What's this? And you want to talk about high impact. Jack Evans thrown across the knees of the Briscoes, and his back bent in all kinds of unnatural positions there.
Well, that's a great way to ground a high flyer. You take his back out from him.
That's a great way to end a career. Oh, and he spikes him with that power bomb.
Jay Briscoe was impressed with the power bomb and will follow up on the advantage as he takes the tag back in.
Oh, and look at those insulting kicks in the face. They sting and they're insulting. And it looks like the Briscoe Rave Walters team finally has an advantage here, and they're finally able to mount a series of offensive moves. Nice drop kick by Jay Briscoe, and look at him, comes right up into the faces of the Generation Next guy and spits his gum right in the face of Alex Shelley.
Roderick Strong with the save again. And there's the tag to Jimmy Rave. This is the first time tonight that we've seen real teamwork, and we're not seeing it from the Generation Next team.
Look at the bruises on the back of Jack Evans. As right now, Jimmy Rave with that chin lock, and he's got that knee grind into the spine of Jack Evans.
If they can keep him isolated in the corner and use tags to keep fresh men in, this could be a long match for Jack Evans.
Oh, double stomp. Well, at this point, it looks like Generation Next might be a flash in the pan, because Jack Evans needs to get out of there or he's going to get pinned. And here comes Mark once again. He goes to the lower back. They are working on that back of Jack Evans. Mongolian chop. Northern Light suplex. Beautifully done.
Alex Shelley comes across the ring. And I think Mark's starting to get a little bit frustrated.
Notice though, Mark is taking Jack right back into their corner, and he tags in his brother. Here's more Briscoe double teamwork. Nice leg. Cover. And there's, look at that. Look how many Generation Next guys came in to try to make the save. Both Aries and Strong.
Leg guillotine sidewalk slam combination by the Briscoes, showing why they're so incredibly well thought of as a tag team.
How much abuse can Jack Evans take, though? He's got to get out of there.
Well, we've seen Jack Evans dish it out as a member.
Oh, low blow. He saved himself with that. Oh, a moonsault into a kick. Beautifully done. This is Jack Evans' chance. He's rolling. Yes, he tags in Roderick Strong. What a break for Generation Next, and Jack Evans made it.
Well, Jack Evans, you don't get out of the heart dungeon without being able to take a lot of punishment.
And there's teamwork by Generation Next, beautifully done, and Jay Briscoe's in trouble now. Wow, Alex Shelley just kicking out the leg of Jay, and then Roderick hitting a very high-impact backbreaker all in the same motion.
Now Roderick Strong, who we think of as a high-impact guy, but now Roderick Strong splitting those legs as he leg locks.
Roderick Strong, here's a guy, he's only on his third ROH show and his second main show. He impressed last week in Six Man Mayhem, which stole the show, and he initially impressed at Do or Die 2 on the afternoon card March 13th. Now he's got a spot here in ROH, and he tags into the technician, Alex Shelley. And look at Alex Shelley, he's going right to work on the legs of Jay Briscoe.
Technician slash quarterback.
Alex Shelley knows so many holds and counter holds. And he comes up with so many creative holds and counter holds, and Jay Briscoe reaches up, and he's in his corner. He can reach up and make the tag. No, Shelley pulls him back.
Good ring awareness by Shelley to know exactly where he was and what he needed to do to maintain the advantage. Big knee drop.
Austin Aries connects, and it was right on the leg of Jay Briscoe. It looks like Generation Next is finally getting that advantage they needed, and they're looking to take out one of the limbs on the Briscoe brothers. And you got to figure if they take out that knee, Jay might not be able to hit the Jay Driller. And if he's not able to hit the Jay Driller, that takes away perhaps his most high-impact move. Jay struggling, Jay fighting, and he kicks out. He's going for the tag. He's inching towards his corner. He needs it. No. Austin Aries pulls him back right into the corner of Generation Next. Aries scoops him up. Oh, a shin breaker into a back suplex. There's one of those high-impact combinations from Austin Aries I was talking about before. Mark making the save.
What an impressive move by Austin Aries, who is having an impressive match.
Oh, and he just spit on that whole group in the corner, drawing them into the ring. Ref Hansen trying to get them out. And in the meantime, Generation Next is going to take advantage of this opportunity.
Now here comes Roderick Strong back in, and it looks like they've got the attack centered on the left leg and knee. And it'll be interesting to see which, if they're just trying to set him up here for a particular Alex Shelley submission.
And look at that, Roderick Strong grabs a headlock, but at the same time he's twisting the knee.
Nice grapevine headlock combo.
So that is right now making Jay Briscoe woozy in the head while at the same time doing more damage to the knee. And nice quick tags we're seeing right here by Generation Next. They're definitely coming together as a cohesive unit right here. And look at that, the knee bent in an unnatural position, and Alex Shelley connects with a kick.
And how quick will Alex Shelley be in somebody's office wanting a tag team title match if one of the Briscoes get pinned here?
Very, very true. That's the goal of Generation Next. They wanted to solidify their spots, and if they're able to beat ROH veterans like the Briscoes, John Walters, and Jimmy Rave, they have definitely made a name for themselves and accomplished their goal tonight. I mean, they've laid out Donna Marcos. They've laid out the Christopher Street connection. They've defeated Special K in 2 matches, and now they're in there with the Briscoes, Rave, and Walters, and they need to win this match if they truly want to prove that they belong at the top of the card.
Well, it seems like they've almost taken on the entire card tonight.
They've definitely hijacked the show. I mean, they've taken the show name and they've made it their own. Big shot by Roderick Strong. Strong whipping Jay in. Oh, and look at that. Briscoe can't even run the ropes. That knee is in a lot of pain, a lot of trouble. And Jay Briscoe needs to get out of there in a hurry and in a bad way.
Look for Alex Shelley to come back into the ring very shortly and try to put Jay away with some sort of a leg lock or knee lock.
As Jay once again couldn't run the ropes, and he's fighting back. He knows it's do or die time for him right now. He whips Strong and Noddle off behind that clothesline, and now connects with a kick with his last burst of energy and effort, and he gets the tag. Here comes Jimmy Rave. Rave, a house of fire, cleaning house.
Notice Aries and Shelley are staying on the outside, but that doesn't stop Rave from giving one to Shelley. And now,
and look at that. Jimmy Rave distracted by members of Generation Next on the outside, and Alex Shelley took full advantage, but it's not stopping Rave. There's that Shining Wizard. No, Shelley avoids it one more time. And Aries is in now. Rave cleaning house on him, knocks him down, chops him, following up. Rave's whole job is on the line right here, and he's fighting for it. Austin Aries whips him in. Rave rolls underneath, connects with a super kick.
now Jimmy Rave needs to get this match in some type of a tempo, and he does just that with a front chantry, moving Roderick Strong into the corner and tagging out to John Walters.
And there's a nice combination, a kick and a knee lift, as Rave and Walters working as a team, and Walters with a big clothesline. And you notice the Generation Next side, they're all kind of hunched over in the corner. They're feeling pain right now. They're battered and bruised. But Alex Shelley, it's not stopping him. Ref Hansen has to get some order in this one. Here comes Shelley. No. Double knees by Walters, and Shelley pays the price for sticking his nose in this match.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what Walters is going to do to follow up on the advantage. Roderick Strong back in the ring.
And he's exchanging fists with Strong. Roderick Strong scoops him up, puts him, no! John Walters grabs the leg. He saves himself right there from those double knees. Shelley now up. He's getting chopped. John Walters in firm control right now. He's getting his revenge.
Well, this is interesting. He almost forces an Indian deathlock while at the same time hanging on to a chinlock combination. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like that.
And look at Jack Evans with that double kick on both Briscoes. And then he knocked down Jimmy Rave. John Walters is moving in. No, Evans moonsaults to the floor and takes out the Briscoes. It's breaking down right here in Philadelphia. Roderick Strong now German suplex on John Walters.
Wanted to roll with it, standing switch by Walters, and a German suplex by him. Looks like he wants to roll that one, and this time it's Roderick Strong with the reversal in the go behind.
Strong now scoops up Walters, and now he connects with those double knees he was going for earlier.
And one of those knees looked like they went into the nether regions.
And look at Walters. He's on the wrong side of the ring right now, but the Generation Next faction, I don't think Jack Evans has ever recovered from that earlier beating he took. And Shelley is down on the outside too. Roderick Strong tags into the only member that's standing in Austin Aries. Aries scoops up Walters. Oh, spins him around with a suplex. Nicely done. Cover.
Aries is so times.
And it's not just innovation for the innovation. He adds a lot of impact to those moves as there's a big knee to the neck.
Effective innovation.
Hey, you got that right. Oh, and a slap to the neck. Oh, and I see a trend developing here, Mark.
Well, that's the one body part that is probably the most vulnerable in this match because of the beating that Walters took from Generation Next earlier on the card.
You're right about that, and they definitely are targeting that neck right now. Look at that move. Real quick, I got to pay the bills. ROHWrestling.com. That's where you go to check out ROH's hot summer schedule. June in Dayton and Baltimore. Oh, look at that. He pulled him down by the hair, but gave him a knee to the back of the head on the way down and the neck. But June, Dayton and Baltimore. July, Elizabeth, New Jersey, outside of New York City, as well as Milwaukee and Chicago for Death Before Dishonor 2 weekend. Then August back in Boston. That's the summer schedule. ROHWrestling.com. As you see Alex Shelley taunting Walters. That's cockiness right there. I also have to mention you can go to ROHWrestling.com for all your Ring of Honor DVD and videotape needs, including new best-ofs for AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and CM Punk on DVD.
And now Roderick Strong normally prefers the suplexes and the backbreakers, but here's an interesting stretch by Roderick Strong as he catches the ropes on the offside of the referee on top of it.
That's extra leverage right there. Roderick Strong definitely proving his worth as a submissions wrestler in this one. And there you see Shelley coming in with no tag. Ref Hansen distracted by everyone in Walter's corner. And look at that, nice neck breaker. Oh, and into a submission on the neck. Look at that bridge. It's pulling back on the neck, causing pain throughout the neck of John Walters.
Walters is getting to the point where he's almost going to have no choice but to concede as much punishment as the most delicate part of a human body, the neck, keeps getting punished.
And if Walters loses a fall in this one, he's going to lose his spot in the top 5. Here comes Austin Aries up. More double team work right here by Generation Next. Aries flies off with a forearm to the back.
You figure that Generation Next thinks that they have isolated the guy that they want to isolate.
And Walters tried valiantly to fight back, but he gets hit with that DDT, simple and effective, and more impact on the neck. But look at Walters, he's close to his corner. And look at Aries inviting him to make the tag, telling him to go ahead and try it. Oh, that's just cockiness right there. That's uncalled for. And he forearms Mark, the closest man to him, causing these guys to come into the ring and lose their cool, and giving Generation Next another opportunity to switch guys in the ring.
And now Roderick Strong continuing to press the advantage on John Walters.
You know, it's interesting. They had that feeling out process maybe for about the first 10 minutes of the match, and perhaps they realized some strength and weaknesses in their opponents there, and that's what Generation Next was trying to do there. And now they realize the neck is the way to go on John Walters. And don't forget, Jay Briscoe has that injured knee on the outside.
But it's getting to the point where if John Walters doesn't make the tag and make it quickly, he's going to be forced to tap out.
Right about that, as there's another nice submission move by Roderick Strong. I think we were wrong just to stereotype him as a high-impact backbreaker guy. He is showing very nice submission work in this match. I don't know if this will be enough to make John Walters tap, but it's definitely wearing him down. Roderick Strong releasing the hold now.
That's one of those holds that almost hurts the guy giving it as much as it does the guy taking it.
But you know what? When you're a fresh guy and you can tag out, you can endure a little bit of pain if it means causing it on your opponent. Jack Evans now. Let's see if he can do a submission. And yes, he does. Look at that. Causing the neck to bend in an unnatural position with the back of the knee and the leg there while he's stretching the arm. Alex Shelley making sure nobody in the corner of John Walters comes in to break up the hold.
It's a key lock.
Jack Evans now pounding the back of the neck of John Walters.
You know Jack Evans came from the dungeon. You know Jack Evans may be a high flyer, but is very familiar with submission moves.
And a whip in. Oh, Walters levels Jack Evans. This is Walters' opportunity. Can he do it?
And it may be Walters' last opportunity.
You're right about that, because he's tired, he's groggy. He's using his last ounce of strength to inch forward towards the hand of someone in his corner, and yes, he gets it. Mark springboards all the way across the ring. What a drop kick. Mark House of Fire, he is well rested, and he is taking it to Generation Next. A heel kick to Roderick Strong. The tag goes into Jay. We are seeing Briscoe Brothers tag team action at its best. Could it be? A springboard doomsday device connects. It's all over. They've won matches with this cover. Oh, Aries kicks out. Aries just barely got the shoulders up to kick out. Mark now sails to the floor on Roderick Strong. Alex Shelley there, Jay, and a dragon screw on the injured knee of Jay Briscoe. All control being lost. And what's he doing? It's a striker lock. He is stealing Matt Striker's hold. Insult to injury to Matt Striker. And Jimmy Rave saves Jay Briscoe, or that could have been it for Jay.
Oh, it would have been it. Jay Briscoe wasn't going anywhere. But Jimmy Rave, now the guy with, as you mentioned earlier, maybe the most on the line.
And there's that crossface. He's made people tap to him. Shelley's fighting it. No, but Rave with those forearms, he's trying to hook it. Not quite. Shelley fighting for his life. And yes, now he's got it cinched. Now he's got it cinched. This could be a tap out right here. Can Shelley make it to the ropes? Can someone make the save? Look, Shelley's close to tapping. He's close. He's struggling. He's fighting the pain. Rave trying to rear back. And no, Shelley makes the ropes.
Shelley.
What hard determination.
Standing enziguri by Shelley, and it's a beauty.
Alex Shelley proving why he's the quarterback, why he's the general of this team, as he's watching his plan go to fruition. He's been talking about it in promos on the last few shows, and now we know what he was talking about. I'm losing my voice calling this action. And there's the Shining Wizard. Rave finally connects, but Roderick Strong right there to break it up.
Now Roderick Strong and Jimmy Rave.
I think Hansen's given up on trying to maintain order in this one. Rave avoids that backbreaker and hits one of his own. Now he's going for a Russian leg sweep. No, Strong holds on, and now Strong takes him up. Oh, beautiful variation of a backbreaker. And now we have Walters and Aries going at it again.
Almost a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and this time the referee being out of position hurts Generation Next.
As we have two factions fighting it out right now. Roderick Strong going at it with Jimmy Rave, and there's a Northern Lights by Walters, but what's Jack Evans doing? Shooting star press! Back suplex on the bridge by Roderick Strong, shooting star press by Mark! Both men connect! And Mark going to the pin cover! Not quite enough.
Both teams now pulling out all the stops.
They've worn each other down. Mark Briscoe challenging Jack Evans in a battle of shooting star presses. Oh, you don't want to do that with Mark. Mark will fight back and hit harder than anybody. Whoa, what an angle on that back suplex. Mark lands right on his head, and he might be out on his feet, but he's scooping Jack up. Oh, cutthroat suplex. That's what pinned Omar Tortuga before, but Mark too injured to make the cover. Someone's got to cover Jack. Mark Briscoe might be a non-factor. Jack Evans will be a non-factor. And we have a Jay Driller attempt. No, Jay could not get him up because of his knee. Jay now trying to get that adrenaline rush. Yes, he's fighting back, using his last-ditch effort. Jay Driller, that puts them all down. And Roderick Strong rolls to the outside. 450 by Austin Aries on Jay Briscoe. If he can cover him, he's going to win. The 450 pin special K earlier. Aries, though, he's too stunned, too groggy, too tired. Now he makes the cover. This is it. Here it is. Walters saving the day for his team, saving Jay Briscoe. And now we have Walters with the injured neck against Austin Aries. Oh, Walters cuts off Aries. Everyone going for their high impact move. All men are worn down and tired. Oh, he dumps Aries. He wasn't able to hit it the way he wanted because of that injured neck. But Aries is still out. Turns him over, cover. This is it. Jack Evans with the save.
Both teams have had opportunities to win this match. Both times their opponent has been saved. You're going to have to isolate somebody, especially if you want to try to do it with a submission move.
And look at Walters. He is pointing at the neck. He's definitely suffered a serious injury. If he's having Hansen look at the neck like that, Walters might have to be gone. And Jack Evans takes out everyone on the floor with a springboard 450.
Well, that's how you get everything isolated.
And Shelley there goes right to the neck, drapes it across that top rope, which is just a steel cable. Double boot to the back of the neck. And now he's got the Border City stretch. That applies all the pressure on the neck. He's made many men tap with this. And there you see Rave trying to make the save, but Austin Aries cuts him off. The Briscoes are down on the floor. Walters needs to make the ropes. It's his only chance. No, he tries to roll out. But Shelley still has the Border City stretch. He still has it cinched, and Walters taps. It's all over. Alex Shelley, ranked number 3, just made John Walters tap, who's ranked number 5. The crowd on their feet in Philadelphia. Generation Next has established themselves as a force to watch here in Ring of Honor.